Warning: this episode is not suited for all audiences. In this episode, we will cover several topics that we have mixed feelings on. If you do not like disappointment or dislike aimed at news regarding Mortal Kombat 11, this episode is not for you. We are still excited for the game, and we love a majority of what the game has to offer, but we aren't going to pretend we love everything. So, if that bothers you, please click away now. For those that look for genuine opinions and are grounded in reality, enjoy the show. Hey everybody, it's Cyborg and Down Forality, and we are here for another random select. This time we are going to be talking about Cetrion, the custom variation, debacle, ordeal, whatever you want to call it, group combats, or group battles, or whatever, the tag mode in single player, and some of the I guess they're the trophies for Mortal Kombat 11, so some of those have been revealed, if not the whole thing, we're not really entirely sure. But yeah, so we'll be covering all of that on this episode of the Random Select. So thanks everybody for tuning in. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Today was a lot of shit dropped.
Yes,
overall.
a lot to discuss here, so let's tackle it. I guess first off, Cetrion. I like Cetrion. I didn't expect all the different elements. I guess it makes sense for her character if she's an elder goddess or whatever, which is confirmed in the article. So she is indeed an elder goddess. She is also Shinnok's sister and the daughter of Kronika. So I guess they're all one big happy family. So that's interesting. I mean, we've seen some jokes out there like about this type of stuff, so it's nothing really too new. It's just now confirmed, so now we for sure that is what is happening, which I'm fine with that. I've said before I'm not much into the lore, and there's a good reason for that, because they retcon a lot of things, and honestly I'm not gonna bother learning all the intricacies of the lore when things change all the time and just get, as I just said, retconned. It just seems kind of pointless to me. Like, I feel like that's a road of disappointment to go down that way, because then you get attached to certain things, and then those things no longer exist anymore. They get changed to this other thing. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I saw some people disappointed about that, but this isn't like anything new. They're gonna change things constantly.
Yeah, I could have sworn they said in an interview not long ago, maybe a month and a half ago. It's in the lead up so far to this game where somebody in an interview said that's why they love Mortal Kombat and this was like one of the developers, I believe, or the writer or something. I can't remember what it was, but somebody said that they love Mortal Kombat because you can do all those sorts of things, like retcon things and all that, and it's not a big deal because I guess they don't. I mean, I've always attributed the writers of Mortal Kombat, the writing team, to be just a bunch of, not just the writers, but just NetherRealm Studios in general, to just be a bunch of dudes sitting in a room saying, hey, this would be pretty cool. And then he pitches this idea to the other people, the other devs, and they're like, oh, that's great. And they're just laughing and slapping their knees and oohing and awing and like disgusted. And like, I mean, they're just a bunch of dudes hanging out. I've never treated them, and I don't say that as a bad thing. I just never really treated all that as like they're trying to win an award for good storytelling or be super consistent or anything like that. If that ever existed, that went away probably with Tobias. So
I'd agree with that, honestly.
So I mean, it is what it is. So I think they're just trying to have fun and tell a fun story and have it filled with like cool moments and badass scenes and stuff like that more than anything. They're just trying to be like like their inspirations, like Big Trouble in Little China or Enter the Dragon. They're more into just the moments and the visuals and stuff like that, more so than the just storytelling consistency. So But anyways, so that it doesn't really bother me that that's the case for her. That I'm more intrigued by what she does in story. I'm gonna take it as I see it and then judge it from there. I'm not gonna hold it to like any retcon or anything like that. It's more just gonna be, is the story mode fun to play through? Are there cool moments? Stuff like that. That's more what I'm looking forward to. So I'm kind of curious,
Definitely.
yeah, what she does in story and what her role is. Just from a design perspective, though, like a visual design, what do you think?
Yeah, I think she looks better than I was expecting. Like, they showed two designs for her, one with like the green skin and the red eyes and the kind of brownish like setup she was using, and then she wore in the trailer like she had more purplish skin and like a green, kind of like Poison Ivy wears with like green hair and stuff. I saw a lot of people disliking the brown one with the green skin that looks more kind of like a Kodal kind of
Right.
like. But I honestly really like the red eyes on her. I thought that looked better than the trailer one. So if I do use her, I'll probably go with that one. Uh, Visually, she looks cool to me. I kind of like that like rock thing she has,
Yeah.
like hanging behind her. I don't know what that is. That's probably the customizable item or whatever. But yeah, she looks cool overall to me.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way she looks. Did you see the alternate version of her, like where it's all like dark and evilish looking?
Where
Looks
was that shown?
looks more like Shinnok. Let's see if I can get a picture to show you real quick. Let me scroll back up in the chat. But it looked like almost like a version of her that's supposed to be more like Shinnok. Here, I got a picture.
Interesting.
It looks really good, so I hope this is like an alternate skin for her. It was in the same magazine article, the Game Informer, so it is official. But yeah, I don't know if this was just concept art and they changed it, or
Whoa! Wow,
yeah, I think it
that's
looks.
different.
I think it looks cool. I think that's tight. Like she looks, that's badass. I thought maybe it's like this is this could be an alternate timeline where maybe she had Shinnok's role, where she's the one that's like fallen and is the
Hmm.
ruler of the Nether Realm type of thing.
That could be cool.
And then maybe there's Shinnok with like a more good, and he's covered in leaves and rocks and stuff.
I
I
honestly
don't
want to
know,
see that.
but that would be funny. But yeah, no, I like that. I think that's badass.
Yeah, if this is gear, that'll be cool. I might try that. That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, and so I'm with you. I like the way she looks. I mean, I expect her to look like earthly, like with the leaves and stuff like that. But I didn't expect the all different types of elements, as I mentioned before. Like she's got rock, she's got the plants, fire,
Water. Yeah.
water, and wind to a degree. So she's kind of covering it all, which I guess, like I said, makes sense from her powers as an elder god. But that's just not what I was expecting. But it does make a lot of sense as Mother Nature. So I think it's cool. I think her gameplay looks really interesting, and
Yeah, I think a lot of people expected like a Poison Ivy type where it's just plants and shit, but no, she's doing all these types of elements. Very rock based more than any of
yeah.
the others, I think.
And we don't know which ones are, the custom moves or whatever either. We
Hmm.
don't, usually in trailers, they pack it all in there just to make it for a cool trailer. So we don't know what moves are her base moves. We don't know which ones are going to be sectioned off to certain variations or custom or whatever. So it's hard to say. Like maybe some of that, maybe the fire stuff is its own, like, I don't know. Yeah, we don't really know. But
Its own variation, yeah.
yeah, so I like the idea and the concept of it. I'm kind of glad she isn't just a plant-based person, because I didn't want just a straight, poison ivy-like character in the game. I like the idea though of a elder god that's maybe stepping down or whatever she does, and she's using all of her elements. I think that's kind of interesting because we don't currently have a character that does that, like uses all the elements fused together in different ways. I think that was kind of cool in the trailer to see her grabbing somebody with plants, slamming them into a rock, or lifting them up, on fire, and then blasting them with water, like doing all these things in succession. I think is a
Yeah,
really
it's doing it all
cool.
together. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
So she's an
Yeah.
elementalist, and it really looks good. Yeah, I like visually she looks good. Some people are saying that she looks like she's from Injustice. I can see that. I mean, I get why people say that, because she's very colorful like Injustice, and she's using a lot of elements, which what we saw in Injustice. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're even sharing some of, like, using some of those assets
The
again.
assets, yeah.
Like the grass when she first walks in reminds me of the Swamp Thing grass that he lays
Yeah,
down
I thought that too.
for his
Yeah.
ability. So I mean that's fine. They got to cut corners somewhere, but she still looks good, and I think ultimately for me, the design is decent, the gameplay is decent. I don't love it, but I like it. I think
Yeah, I'm
it's
the
gonna,
same.
yeah, and I think it's gonna come down to the story. Like if she has a really cool story, and I think she's really well done in story mode itself, I think I might like really, start to get more attachment to the character. But right
Mhm.
now, it's just a cool design with some, reasonably cool gameplay. Um, and yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how she's portrayed in story mode. That could kind of be the deciding factor for me of, taking her to the next level, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what she does as well because like in gameplay and like her fatality and everything, she looks really fucking powerful. So
Yes.
I was hoping for that. Like when I heard, she was an elder god before, it's like, okay, she should look pretty like powerful in game, and she does. Like
Yes.
she kind of shits all over Shinnok in that aspect. Or Shinnok can't really use shit, but this bitch, like, she does like all the elements, and then she like fucking Godzilla size and shit. It's like, what is going on? Like, and I do see the comparison to like Injustice. When I did see that fatality when she goes out into space, that did remind me of like Injustice Super is like
Right.
Superman or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's. I did like the fatality a lot, by the way. Like, I
Yeah.
thought it was super cool. Like, she does the MK3 Jax thing and then goes even bigger, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just really surprised. I was like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. Uh,
Yeah. 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 I think I'm very intrigued with her and what she's going to do in story. So
yeah.
hopefully, and she probably is going to play a big role if she's directly related to Kronika and Shinnok. I think
I
it's
think there
safe
was a
to assume.
picture that she was like right behind Chronica, like talking to her or something.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
that'll be cool.
I'm curious to see if she's on the good side or the evil side. If she's on the evil side, like Earthrealm's kind of fucked. But
Yeah, no,
if
I
she's on
think
the good side, maybe that'd be kind of tight.
I would, if I had to guess, I'd probably say good just based on, other than this alternate attire. I mean,
Yeah,
she clearly looks evil, but she, she looks good, and I can easily see this being like a played up family dynamic where Kronika seems neutral in a lot of ways. She doesn't seem bad. She doesn't seem good. It's just she's neutral, and she doesn't stand for the things that some of the heroes are standing for. So I
yeah,
see her taking place as a neutral kind of stance, and then Shinnok is clearly the evil one. So I think to balance that out, you're going to have Cetrion being try to be the voice of reason for Kronika. But yeah, that remains to be seen. Maybe she does turn out evil, and that's why we see this crazy attire of hers. I don't know, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, she looks cool and interesting. So I'm kind of curious to see more. I don't think she's going to be a character that I play, but
Hmm.
that could change. I mean, like I said, if you get me interested in her from a story perspective, that could help. And from a design and gameplay, if I see more things that I like from her, I could get on board. It's just there was just so much in that trailer that was just all over the place that I don't know. It's hard. Like I said, I liked it, but it's hard for me to. I feel like new characters are always that kind of way for me. It's hard for me to get super invested into a new character until I've gotten to see more of them, and especially their personality. We haven't really gotten to see her personality yet, just through this image and the trailer that they put up. Obviously, we haven't really gotten a sense of her personality, because a personality to me is a big selling point for a character. So
Yeah, we really know nothing about her right now, like other than she's an elder god, whatnot. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't know if I'll play her. She looks like a zoner to me, pretty much. Like I don't really play zoners that often, but she looks cool. I mean, I might try her if she's if I see some stuff being done with her that's interesting. Like she might be a character I'll try eventually, but she's not one of the first picks I'll go to. And yeah, it took me a while to get invested to new characters for X. Like Aaron was really the only one I really got on board with immediately. Kodokan took some time, even though I liked him from the start. It's just gameplay wise, I wasn't into him until I played the game. So I'm sure something like that could change. Like, maybe she does some cool shit in the story, and then you try her out once, and then she fits your style. Like, I could see this being a character you like, just watching the trailer. Because she does have like zoning tools and stuff, and you like to play, zoners as well, and maybe like she does, like have the style you like, or some different gear or something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say, but we shall see. I guess next up we have some we'll cover the Mortal Kombat 11 trophy list. So some spoilers naturally here if you're not wanting to know some of these trophies and what they might give away. I didn't go through this with a fine tooth comb just because I'm trying to avoid story spoilers as well. So
That's fair.
I'm not looking at some of the names. But one thing that I did see was, well, I mean, we got Frost confirmed as we already knew, but so it looks like 25 characters for sure is confirmed. We don't know if there's more achievements than this that might be hinting towards others, or if they just left them out. If there is indeed more than 25, but there is in fact 25 confirmed here, including Frost. And
Yeah, I was surprised there wasn't any secret achievements. Usually there are in some of these games, so maybe they just decided not to, or maybe there are more to be unlocked or something.
right,
Um,
but one that stood out to me was the name of Frost's achievement is Cyber Initiative.
yeah,
So that pretty much confirms what I was afraid of. But I mean, I'm gonna keep an open mind to see how they do it. Of course, see how they do it in story mode. See how she looks in the game. Unfortunately, I've said this before, but I feel like she's gonna be one of the ones that does not get shown off before the game comes out. I feel like she's gonna be held
yeah.
back. So
Which they did mention on Twitter today, right? That not every character will be shown
yes,
for. Yeah,
deliberately they said, yeah, they're purposely not sharing or showing off some of the characters.
that's
So
so confusing to me because they know the game's gonna get, leaked like a week before.
yeah,
It's inevitable. So I don't get why they don't just show her if she's the one. They decide not to show, but it is what it is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
Cyber Initiative, that's not good. I just hope, yeah, they do it right for your sake. I don't feel like if she is a cyborg, like they can't, capture what made Frost good in the 3D era. Like I think they'll still be able to do that in some aspect. I'm hoping, like maybe she'll still have the daggers as a cyborg or something. She'll still do cool shit. Uh, but yeah,
yeah.
that does suck for your sake if that like doesn't work out.
I mean, like I said, I have an open mind. So I mean, even if she is turned into a cyborg or a half cyborg or whatever that even means, then if they do it really well and the design is there and the gameplay is a lot of fun and the story, like it makes sense from a story perspective and she's done really well there. I'm not gonna complain too much. I'm gonna love a lot of it. I usually can find something I love, even through disappointment, I can usually find something that I really enjoy and gravitate towards it and focus on that and end up
Yeah.
liking it. It's just it's definitely not the route I wanted for this character after she's been gone for so long, for all these years, and then she's been requested by several people. She's not the most requested out there, but she's up there.
She is
She's
definitely up
probably in
there.
the top 10 of characters we haven't gotten back yet, and
Easily.
so it's just tough because you bring a character like that, what would be called a fan favorite, you bring them back, and then that has been gone for all this time, and then you redesign them into a cyborg like that. This isn't like Sub-Zero being turned into a cyborg, which ended up like he had his own version that wasn't a cyborg in the game, and then the very next
And
game
he's in every game.
yeah, and then they
Yeah.
undid that. So it's like, and he's in every game was also my point. Yeah, that it's not like Sub-Zero where that's not permanent. This could be the permanent Frost that we get. Is she's brought back only to be turned into a cyborg, and that's what we are. That's the Frost we get from now on, and that if she even makes it, and then that's also another cyborg to compete with Cyrax, Sector, and Smoke, and it's just weird to me.
Yeah, it's a very odd choice.
But we'll see. Like I said, keeping an open mind, and hopefully it's good. I gonna prepare for it not to be, but that's only to manage my own expectations. But I'm still holding out hope that what they do in the game is actually really cool. So
Yeah.
it's just unfortunate because I wish I would have these answers now rather than waiting. But we're so close. I guess it doesn't matter at this
It's
point.
very close.
But that said, what other trophies stuck out to you? Anything worth of note?
It mentions the Warrior Shrine in one of them, I think.
Oh yeah, as a place
In
for
the
the
crypt.
crypt. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm really, really hoping that's a stage in the
yeah.
game. If it was in the crypt and not in the game, it's like, why'd you pick Goro's lair over that shit? Like,
Yeah,
I think anyone would pick the Warrior Shrine over that.
I feel like it has a good chance to be a stage. I think somebody compiled a list of 17 of the 21 that are very, very likely based on gameplay we've seen and screenshots and concept art.
Yeah, there
So,
was concept art of the Chronica stage in
yeah,
the Game Informer article, which there was also the Shinnok Bone Temple stage
right.
concept art in that as well. So it's pretty safe to assume that that is going to be a stage in the game, and it looks great to me. I'm excited for that. Other than that, it just there is one thing they do mention, like the towers are novice, warrior, and champion. So I hope they call that choose your destiny because that hasn't been in a game since like MK4, and those were the titles of the towers back then. So I'm just hoping they call it choose your destiny because that'd be nice.
Yeah. I think it will be. I think there's 4 stages left to be like that we have no idea what they are, so I think it makes sense from a design perspective if they're going to design all these Shang Tsung Island locations in the crypt to walk
Actually,
around
let's
on.
there. How many stages in MK1 are there left? There's the throne room, the pit,
Palace
warrior
gates.
shrine, palace gates. Is there any others?
Mm, I don't think so.
Let me just double check.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
don't think
think
so
because yeah,
either.
you have the pit, like you said, the warrior shrine, the palace gates, and the throne room.
In the pit bottom, I guess, but I don't know if that really
Yeah,
counts.
yeah. I
The
don't
only one
think
I
you
can't see
technically
making
need
it,
both.
yeah, I don't see the palace gates making it. Uh,
Yeah,
but other than that, I could see easily the pit and the warrior shrine and the throne room making it.
I think
So
so
I would love
too.
all of those.
I think so too. So I wouldn't be surprised if 3 of those are in there, and then one other one, maybe a different classic stage from another game, or just a completely different location altogether. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you though. I do hope that makes it in as a stage. So I guess this is kind of a good segue to some other things that we learned today, which is and the achievements or I guess the trophies or whatever alluded to this, and that there's a group battle and there's also the tag team. So
Yeah.
uh, tag team mode. So I guess let's start with that. So it's only single player, and it's only on certain challenge towers or whatever, not challenge towers or whatever they're called, the towers, and so it's not going to
There
be
is an
this.
online like tag team
Yeah,
like
and we'll talk about
tower.
that separately.
Yeah,
But yeah,
okay. Gotcha.
so just tag mode itself. Tag mode in a single player setting, you can go up the ladder basically against the AI in certain towers that are designated for it in a tag team setting just by yourself. And it has all the bells and whistles of tag team mode where, you can do assists and all that kind of cool stuff, but it's only single player. For me, that's disappointing because it doesn't really serve a purpose for me to do that. I like the idea of tag, as I've said before. I want team battles and all that type of stuff, anything that
Hmm.
allows us to play together in that way, but just single player tag team, I don't think I'm gonna touch it, honestly.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I mean I hope a lot of people do. It's just for me personally, tag team was it's like I said, it was just a means to be able to team up with a buddy of yours online and then play against other players online to have some
Yeah.
fun like that. And if you can't do that, then it really serves me no purpose. I do not enjoy playing by myself against like going up the towers. Adding
Hmm.
a second character for me to do that in and playing tag doesn't add on to that any for me personally. I'll
That's
probably
fair.
do it if there's like certain rewards I have to do like to earn from it, but other than that I won't play it just for fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I do enjoy tag single player. Like I don't I of course I'll get bored of it eventually. Like for nine, I played it a ton because I was like mixing and matching combos and shit, and
Right.
the online wasn't great in that game, so it's really all I had. So I am excited that it's in the single player. I hope it's not like secluded to the certain towers of time. Like I hate that shit. I just let me play this in whatever tower I want. I don't want to play it with different modifiers and shit. Just let me play the tag mode. But I'm with you. Like it's like giving me half of what I want because I really want it for online as well. I don't really understand why they can't if it's in the game already. Like and you have it online for the towers as well, like you could do it online with a buddy. So how hard would it be to do that for 4 players?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not a developer, but it stings even more because it's like they're teasing us now. It's like, dude, we put in tag. It's like it even like made the article like tag is fucking in, like tag is confirmed, and like people were like spreading it. I was so happy at first when I saw that, and I clicked it, and they're like, don't get too excited yet. It's like what the fuck? Like I was really happy at first, and then of course it's like as soon as I see that, it's like my heart sank. I'm just like, well, they came so close. And then on Twitter, they also clarified that they're not putting it online partly due to the MK9 stats that not many people played it. But it's like, why the fuck would he play tag online in MK9 when he could barely play 1-on-1 in that game online with how bad the netcode
Yeah,
was?
and I
It's
mentioned
just
that on Twitter as well in the same response that you were giving. I added
yeah,
on basically the my from my understanding or my opinion on the reason why they didn't play it was because for one, like you said, the net code was just not very good in MK9, so that's been fixed now. We've got solid net code, so it can actually handle this. But two, because you could only team up with somebody other than just like by yourself running 2 characters, which is fine too. You couldn't team with anybody online. You could only team with somebody on the same console. So
hmm
if they actually added the ability to team with somebody online, I feel like so many more people would use that. Like so many people would utilize that because then it's like, hey, bud, you want to team up and then let's go face these, let's go into ranked together and play together. Like I feel like that would be used way more than somebody just like, hey, yeah, come over to my house and then we're gonna get on the same console. Like that just that exists still in this time, but it's just
it's
not
just
as
yeah.
common. Most people do online gaming with their friends. They don't have people come over and then go online. Like that's just not.
No,
That's a lot harder to set up. So
that'd be like a nice option, like once in a while, like once in a blue moon that situation occurs, but it's like we don't even have that. It's like
yeah,
we don't. It's just so strange to me that they're still using that as evidence for people not wanting this mode, and then they put it in as a single player mode, but yet still won't let us do it online. It really stings. Like I was happy about it at first just because it was in it all, but then I slowly got more depressed because it's like that sucks. It's so close but so far. I have hope that they'll add it in at some point if
yeah.
people speak their mind. But yeah, I don't know.
So
That
what was
sucks.
the online version that you can do of this? I know there's the
Uh,
group battles, but then there's also like a tag team version of this online.
yeah, I think you like I think it's similar to the single player version where you go through a tower and then like you can tag in a buddy, and I don't know if there's like a big boss at the end or something, but it sounded
So
similar to the single player one.
okay, so like if you and I wanted to go online and we can, it's only against a boss or is it through a tower?
I think it said tower. I'm not
Okay,
sure. I thought I read tower.
trying to find that article again, but yeah,
I can try and find it.
I'm just curious on that. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
I believe they mentioned it won't even be at launch.
Okay, so he goes, though you won't be able to team up with a friend to tackle these towers at launch, Mortal Kombat 11 does introduce some cooperative elements in group battles. So you won't be able to team up with a friend to tackle these towers at launch. Mortal Kombat 11 does introduce some cooperative elements. In group battles, one player faces a boss while another launches assist attacks from the sidelines, etc. So that's like the Injustice 2 thing. So we're aware
Yeah.
of somewhat how that works, which I have some thoughts on how to improve that. I put in the chat earlier all my thoughts on basically what I would do to make that group battle thing much, much better. Like, there's
hmm
no reason that can't be improved greatly. I'll just list those off because I have what I put in the chat. So there's no reason, because we had fun with that in Injustice 2, but the reason why we didn't do it beyond that is because it was it was the same experience every time. There was nothing to do once you beat it. It's like, okay, what do we do now? Like,
Yeah, it just got stale like after it was so fun the first, few times we did it because it was something new, but
and it
then
was challenging at first, and then once we
yeah,
got like the hang of it, we got the rhythm down. It got to the point where a single one of us could beat it, like without
yeah,
the
we
other
weren't even
buddies coming
helping.
in. So it's like at that point, then it's not really much of a challenge, and it loses its fun factor. So here are the things that I suggested that could really make this mode shine, the group battle, because okay, maybe we don't get tag or whatever, but this could still be something three of us can do together as an alternate option, still have a blast and have fun, when we're not feeling competitive or whatever, just as a break for, for a few minutes just in between sets. It's like, here's what I would do. I don't think they're gonna flesh it out this much. I feel like it's just gonna be like it was in Injustice 2, just kind of like a little afterthought thing, like just it's there, but it's not really. But I guess since they're at least spelling it out here, maybe it is something bigger this time around, because they
And it does have
also,
an achievement as well.
yeah, and they apparently got rid of guilds and factions and stuff like that, so that's no longer even a thing. So
Oh, they mentioned that? I didn't know that.
yeah, so I guess I hope this plays a bigger part without factions and guilds. Hopefully this does have more of a presence now, because there's no real faction type thing to do it for.
Yeah.
But I said lots of different bosses would be the first thing. So not just one boss at a time. Give us lots of bosses. Maybe you have to beat 2 or 3 bosses at a time. So all 3 of us have to take down a boss. It should be able to, it should rank up in difficulty to the point where it gets like insanely impossible almost feeling for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like make it
Like
so
the
difficult.
Challenge Tower 9, like the 300th
Exactly.
challenge, yeah.
Exactly that. Like give us, it's fine if you want the base versions to be just challenging. I want like the highest tier to be like we're spending like 3 hours just to beat this thing. Like I want it to really push our like our patience and just make us feel like we're on the edge of just losing our shit, because it's so frustratingly difficult. Because when you get decent players in there that know what they're doing, I want it to be like everything you do matters. Like I really want it to push our skill levels and stuff like that. I think that is important, but also, like I said, lots of different bosses. So I want several different challenges, different bosses, not just the same person that okay, this is your only option in Injustice 2 is like we had to face Cheetah. It's like, oh, this is your
You
only
said
option.
for like the week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the week, you can only face Cheetah, and then the next week you might not even get that 3-on-1 challenge. Sometimes it didn't even appear. So it's like, if you're gonna make a mode like this and do it well, I want you to really flesh it out. So different bosses, so have like daily, weekly, monthly things that change. So like every day there's a new boss. Every week there's a new like bigger boss that's even harder. Or every month there's like this huge, incredibly hard, difficult challenge that you got to overcome that might take a long time before you really truly grasp how to take it on. So stuff like that. So lots of variety, so that way if we beat one boss, we're not like, well, we beat this mode, move on. Like I don't want to have to retry the same boss over and over once we beat it, because then it just kind of it loses its luster. So lots of different bosses, variety, 2 bosses, 3 bosses at once, that type of stuff where it just gets like insane. The next thing would be exclusive rewards for each boss. So if you beat a boss, I want there to be certain rewards that you can only get through this, or maybe they're really hard to get otherwise, but if you beat this boss, that's another way to get it. Or maybe it's worth a shit ton of coins or whatever, so that way you can get what you want from the crypt easier for the characters you enjoy. However they want to do it, I want there to be a big incentive to play this mode. If I play this mode and I'm getting next to nothing for it, that sucks. I want rewards, make you feel like you're really legitimately earning something by doing this. Like, okay, we got to play it, that reward goes away at the end of the week and it may not come back for a while, so let's knock this out type of thing. So that's another big thing. The next would be online leaderboard that features the team of people who complete it. So they did mention on here, he said, towers also have leaderboards, which introduces a layer of indirect competition. As you complete towers, you'll be scored on your performance, and at the end of a given week, you're rewarded with consumables and unlockables based on your total scores compared to other players, giving you a reason not just to complete towers, but to do well in them. So take that idea, and I hope that is applied to this group battle as well. So I'm hoping there's leaderboards here, so that way we're competing with other players and trying to do better, so that there's like even further incentives. So if we want to be the best 3 players at this online thing, leaderboards are a great way to do that, so that way you can make like it's competition in its own right. The next would be optional challenges built into each boss fight that award more points or reward. So what I think of like optional challenges, I think of like the, any competitive online like leaderboard thing where you're doing like little fun side modes or whatever, like Arkham Asylum or Arkham City. Like each one has optional challenges that you can complete to have a higher score or get a better ranking on that.
Yeah.
Have optional challenges built in to give you more points or give you a higher reward for doing it. So you got to complete this. So for some examples, I have to complete this boss battle, and one of the challenges to do it with no jumping, or to do it with no blocking, or to do it with no assists, or only use back kick, etc., etc. I mean, there's so many different varieties you can do that for the thing. Or no, like I said, no assists. Your buddies don't even help you out at all, and you got to get through it.
Yeah, just solo it.
Yeah,
That'd be
so well,
great.
I mean, you don't even have to solo it. Like you go in, you die, your buddy goes in, he
Oh,
dies.
okay,
So
gotcha.
that way, but nobody can actually use the built-in assist feature that they have there. So stuff like
We
that.
were doing
So
that already, like in the Injustice ones, like we
right, we were making it.
agreed.
We were already kind of trying to give ourselves challenges, but those are more like house rule challenges for us to make it fun. I want them to actually be built in there. Like if we're gonna perfect this thing, we got to hit all the challenges and get high rankings. So maybe there's rankings in this where it's like to get an S plus ranking or an A plus or whatever, to get the best ranking possible, a platinum ranking, you got to do it with no jumping, no blocking, and no assists. Like make it insane. Like I want these things to really feel like a challenge, I guess is the big thing to drive home there. And then the next thing I have listed here is unique modifiers between fights. So some boss fights are going to have life drain, some are going to have increased speed, some are going to have the upside down bullshit from MK9, and so, like all that wacky shit that you put into test your luck and stuff like that. Put some of that in some of these boss fights. I'd like some to just be straight up fights, so that way you can really just test your skills without any of the unnecessary bullshit.
Mhm.
But throw some of those into some of them to make them unique. Like, okay, this boss fight, the life drain is on, so your life is draining as you fight, and you got to really hurry up. So stuff like that I want to see in there, so that makes it certain ones even. It just makes more variety, I guess is what I'm going for. So
Endurance bosses would be cool too, like in Trilogy, like you get like Goro and Kintaro, like in here, maybe it's like Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn or some shit,
right,
like just shit
exactly.
like that.
Yes, 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 yes. The next one I have here is forced characters on certain boss fights. So force the three players to pick Sonya, Johnny, and Cassie, thus having to learn them. So I don't want this on most of them, but a select one or two every once in a blue moon where you're forced to use certain characters. So it's like old school game where basically you have three characters to choose from, and we each get to choose which character of the three that we each want to be. So we have Sonya, Johnny, and Cassie. You'll take Johnny, I'll take Cassie, Temp takes, or whatever. We have to
Hmm.
decide between those characters who's playing who, and then we have to basically take some time to lab them, maybe spend 30 minutes to lab them just to learn them, and then we jump in to do this, because unless you know those characters, you're not going to be able to pass the challenge most likely, unless you just spam shit or whatever. But hopefully it's hard enough where you can't do that. So something like that in specific ones. I like thematic battles and forced character picks in certain
Yeah, when like a
circumstances.
character you main comes up, that'd be like perfect for whoever, and then be like, oh shit, I'll fucking I'll be the leader on this one. Like you guys just
Exactly. So
sub, yeah.
it's just a way to get you to try out more characters and force you
Mm.
to learn them to earn the benefits of that challenge. So, like I said, I don't want that to be the case with all of them, but just a select few have those every once in a while cycled in. But yeah, ultimately, that's where I'm coming from, is just give us all these like so much variety and depth and fleshed out. If you really flesh out this mode with all of that kind of stuff and beyond, I think it could be fun.
Yeah, I have hope for it as a side mode. Like like you said, like it's not packed into the guild thing, so more people. Like I don't even think many people even knew about it
Yeah.
in Injustice 2. Like it was such a side mode. Like we barely found it. We didn't even know it was a thing until we got the game. So
Yeah, we were like, what is this? And then
yeah, what
like
the fuck is this?
we
Like
weren't even
yeah, we were
sure what,
surprised.
what we were doing at the time. But
At
yes,
least they're
so
mentioning it now.
this could scratch my itch a little bit on the co-op front. It's not going to be like co-op competitive where we can go and face other players, but there's just there's some fun to be had here, and if you flesh it out, that could be really really badass. And yeah, I mean, you have the building blocks there. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's really no reason why they can't take this, Like this idea of 3 players, one's in at a time, and then 2 others can only throw in assists until that person dies. There's really no other. I mean, there's no reason why they can't just make that a player versus player experience if you think about
No,
it. So
I don't
why
get
can't
it.
you have 3 players versus 3 players? Each team is set up the same, and you have 1 player versus 1 player fighting while their teammates can throw out the assists every once in a while on cooldown.
That sounds so much more fun than just like test your luck shit to me. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, even if it's just a fun side mode, doesn't have to be competitive or anything. Yeah, like you said, just assist and it's just fun.
yeah.
Like
Oh
you could
yeah.
have that. Yeah,
One other thing to add, I forgot. So unique assists. This is a big one. This is a big bullet point for this mode to be awesome. Unique assists. So the characters you choose matter. So you know how in Injustice 2 where we'd all pick our characters, we'd go in and then you have the generic, oh, somebody can rain down missiles, and then the person that was in third, or like the third person to join, they could throw out a health benefit or
yeah.
a meter boost or whatever. So it was like the same thing all the time. No matter what you did, it was always the same boost that you get. Give us character specific, unique assists in some of these battles. That would be so badass. And some of them, if you want generic ones, fine. Like I said, the more variety, the better. But some unique assists where it's like if I choose. And if they have the tag system built in there, that means they've built in assist moves for all these characters to some degree. So if I choose whatever, Katana or whatever, as my character and I'm not the one currently playing, maybe I could throw a fan in or something. Like make it character specific for each of these assists so that way the characters you choose matter and you can form strategic teams to face certain bosses based on the assists they have. So if certain characters add a health boost, well then they serve as a healer basically. They serve as a healer character. Whereas if you have somebody that's more of a zoner type character, maybe they're the ones that throw in a projectile. That type of stuff would be badass. Or a trap
That would be
character,
tight.
like Kano or whatever throws in one of his weird little gravity things to mess up the opponent. Stuff like that. I think unique assists could also really make this mode shine.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, and like you said, incentivizing to just at least learn a character at a base level so you can use that assist in
Yeah.
this mode. There's a lot you can do to make it like more of a fleshed out mode. Those are all pretty good ideas.
So yes, if it's just a blah side mode where it seems like it's just there to be there and fluff to kind of add a little bit more to the game, I'm not that excited about it because if it's like Injustice 2 where we beat it and then we're like, okay, well, I guess that was it. Like that to me is not very fun. I mean, we'll try it and then move on.
Yeah, maybe hop on it like once in a while, but I
Yeah,
doubt
but
it'll
if
be
they
like a
really
super.
put in the love and the attention and the variety that I'm asking for here, then that if that is what this is, then that's exciting. It's not something I'm gonna want to do every night or all night or every night or any of that bullshit. But it's something that's like, okay, we just ran sets for 2 hours. Let's try and get 3 of us to take on these challenges and unlock some shit. That would be cool. I think that would be a fun way to earn coins and do cool stuff like that. Try a
Yeah,
different challenge.
the Discord might help with that this time too. It's like if the rewards are actually worth doing, like I'm sure it'll be easier to get 3 people in one,
Sure.
as opposed to like last time. It was harder to get 3 of us and one of them at like 3 a.m. or whatever. But I'm sure
Yeah.
like around launch at least a lot of people will be on. But if this isn't even at launch, like it's like what the hell? Like
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, hopefully. I mean, I think that there's a lot they could do with that. So I'm really hoping that's the case. But moving
same.
on, so I guess we covered all of that. We have custom variations. So that is not a thing.
Yeah,
So wait, I guess backtracking a little bit before we get to that. So you said there's a 2-player tower mode. So let me read that again. In tag battles, 2 players face off against a boss. In tag battles, 2 players face off against a boss as part of a tag team using the right stick to swap out characters instantly. So there is tag team where you and I can tag team, but it's just against these bosses rather than another
so it's not full
duo.
tower. It's just okay. Well, I mean that could be cool too. Like that's at least something that's a little like the Mugen game that we're playing. Like
Yeah, we can practice tag combos and do cool shit like that. So I guess that could be fun. It just, like I said,
it depends on all of that.
it
Yeah,
depends on how they flesh it out. If it's just you're facing like one or two bosses for the month, it's like meh. But yeah, if this is its whole like big old, they got in a big lot of content there to cover, that could be fun. I could see that.
Yeah, it's at least something to like if we just someone's salty and we just want to go play something else. Like that's something to do off to the side. Like I'm down to play like a tag fucking
Sure, or
hour
especially
boss or
like
whatever.
if you get good coins from it, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
if
why
we can
not?
unlock our stuff quicker by doing something like that, yeah, I would much rather do that than single player towers.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Like I
Um,
don't want to grind for the gear and stuff. So like this is like a good way of doing that. I'd be down.
yes, so hopefully there is that. But yeah, okay. So I just clarifying that. So there is, I mean, there's at least something there that they're building the. I wonder if they're building these foundations to hopefully maybe do a multiplayer down the road because they said they're going to be adding things post launch. So I wonder if
They said
like
they're excited about them, so it's got to be something significant.
right.
So yeah, I'm hoping that too. Like that's immediately what I thought too. I'm like, okay, this could be something they expand on maybe. See like what the reception is like at first, and if people like it, maybe they will add it as like a multiplayer mode.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for that. That more than anything, like
unless
even if
these
it's
are
DLC,
unless these are the things that they're adding post launch because as it said at the
that would
beginning,
suck.
though you won't be able to team up with a friend to tackle these towers at launch, and then it goes into to describe both of these modes. So it could
It's
be these very
fine.
things that they're adding post launch rather than
If
the
it,
yeah.
yeah, well, there is an achievement for the group battles though, so it has to be pretty fast after launch, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Isn't there an achievement for group battles?
I
Since
think
that's
so.
where I
I
first
remember
saw it.
seeing, let me check here. Group battles, group. Yeah, teamwork, play a group battle with two other players.
Yeah, so that sounds like to me it's either the Game Informer article is misinformed, or it's like they're gonna add that like immediately after
Yeah.
the game comes out.
All right, well, let's get into the custom variations. So basically, we have confirmed, or we now have confirmed that the variations, at least in ranked play, are well. I mean, there's more to this, but there's the variations in ranked play are going to be preset. So there
Yep.
is no build your own variation for ranked play. There's no add this special move, add that special move, use the slots how you want them. You have to abide by whatever they put into the game. And they said it could be as like some characters might have as low as two or more. We don't know. They didn't
Yeah,
really
they said
say.
minimum two,
Minimum two variations.
and then possibly more.
And from my understanding, these are going to be specifically made for ranked play. They're not going to be like what we've witnessed in the beta, but I don't
They
know. They
said
didn't
they were
really.
like specifically like balancing them to make them like the best version of whatever character, but I don't know. This is by far the most disappointing thing about today. Like I was disappointed by the tag stuff, but this is like, you know, it sucks. Like I like we were even doing the Warrior Shrine the other day, and we were all like optimistic that they would do the custom variations for competitive play. It's I thought they were gonna do that because they've been silent about it for like 3 months. This is another thing, by the way. People keep calling us out like, oh, like you had an article about this. Like, didn't you read it? Like, yeah, but they were continually silent about it after that. Like they were undecided. So now to say this 3 months, later, it's like, why didn't you just come out and say this before? Like, if you were really deciding, leaning towards presets this whole time, why didn't you tell us that
Yeah.
to, not get our expectations up after you advertise every single character's, oh, you can add this move in this variation. If you do this variation, you can do that, and then uh, let us play the beta with the custom variations. Like, why let us, get excited for this aspect of the game only to, at the last second take it away and be like, you're getting presets for this game. They should have told us at the reveal event that, up front, like presets are going to be in, and I don't think we'd be as disappointed as I don't know how you feel about it, but I am disappointed about this. Uh,
Yeah, I'm disappointed because one of my main gripes over the years with like from MKX is the idea of I don't like the preset variations because I want to be able to. I mean, I want to do exactly what they marketed this game as being able to do: is be able to build the character the way you want them to and play the character the way you want them to. And in MKX, it's like I would choose. I wanted the tornado of Katana's Royal Storm. I liked the tornado aspect of the fan, but I also liked the assassin run or more of her assassin elements. So cherry picking the ones that I liked and not like I never used sharpen in assassin, even though that's an essential part of that variation. But I'd always forget to use it, and I never optimized it. So it's like I didn't want that. I didn't need that. I'd rather just use moves that I know I'm going to get the most out of all of them. And I can't do that if you do preset variations. I also
No.
don't like it from a perspective of how are we going to do that and have variations that feel all equal. Like I know with the custom variations, we already ran into that problem. There are certain moves that stood out over the others, but is it going to be any different with the actual preset variations? Because you're going to have Misery Blade, and then what is that going to go up against? Like, what's going to be able to compete with that?
Yeah, it's like I feel like people in the beta especially like already kind of figured that out. Like it's like there really is like, the one good variation for Scorpion at least without, you can add on a move to Misery Blade and whatever variation, but you can just improve that. It's like how are you going to make a variation like to compete with that?
Yeah, Misery
Um
Blade probably should be its own variation, to be
it
honest.
honestly should. It should take all the slots.
Yeah.
But like also it's like you can take like, a move like the spine thing with Baraka, but that replaces Chop Chop. So what if there's a move that I want to use like Gutted is in there with that. So I lose Chop Chop because it's in this variation, but if I want this other move I want to use, I'm forced to use that variation now, or just pick a different variation. But what if that variation sucks ass? I don't know. Like it's a problem to me, especially because there are moves that replace other moves, and it's like how there's so many moves for each character. How are they gonna?
That
Some
too.
characters are gonna have like 9 variations or some shit, like, or is
Yeah.
it gonna just be like 4 or something like?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do that. How many variations a character can even have? What's the maximum they're going to have on somebody like that? And
And they talked about, adding moves and like depending on like player feedback, they'll like change things and add moves. It's like why? How is that going to go over well? How is player feedback going to change things? What if it changes a character in a way that someone doesn't like? And then it just seems so fucked up to me. Like I don't understand how this is a
I just don't
solution
like
to that.
I don't like splitting the player base like that. I do not like
Yeah, that too.
the people that really care about competitive and they want to be able to go into ranked. Like, here's the deal: I don't even give a shit about ranked play myself. I probably won't play much ranked by myself because that's just not. I mean, I have some fun with it. I did some of it in MKX and MK9 and Injustice 2. I did some ranked matches, but that's not. I enjoy competing more with my friends online than I do with randoms online. So it doesn't really affect me much, but here's how it does is because I'm not going to learn a character. I'm not going to learn a custom character and a preset character.
Yeah.
That's
What's
just
the point?
that sucks. That's just no fun. And you're forcing everybody to do that. That's where the problem comes into. This is not a competitive FGC versus casual. This is not a battle between those sides. That doesn't anybody that sees it
No.
that way is completely wrong. This is affecting everybody. Because if you're a
Yeah.
casual player, you too now have to learn a preset character along with your custom character if you ever want to touch ranked online. More people play ranked than just FGC players. Your casual person that picks up the game will still jump into ranked from time to time. Whether they're great or not, they're still going to give it a try. And when they do and they realize they can't touch their custom characters, why would they continue to do that? It just seems, I don't know, it just seems counterintuitive to expect your player base to learn both, to get
Yeah.
everything out of this game, to use all the modes in this game. You have to, if you want to play both casually and competitively, you have to learn both. Unless I guess your
Also,
casual one is only the preset and you use that in casual as well. But here's the thing is augments. Augments are in casual matches.
yeah, and those are the ones that like, like boost your damage or
They boost
buff
damage,
health
they
or
boost
something.
health, they reduce
I
damage
don't.
taken, they reduce
Yeah,
specific this, and there's all sorts of weird different augments. There's like, I think there's like 50, 100 different augments, whatever. So it's like you can load up on all these augments, and you're not going to know the matchup because the other person can now do things that it may be very slight changes, like 2% less damage on this and 1% less damage taken on the, it's very minor things, at least the augments that I witnessed at the reveal event.
hmm
But those were just like base augments. I'm sure they get better as you rank
yeah.
them
There's
up
probably
and
better ones.
boost them up and stuff. So it's like now you no longer know that, but also you cannot play the you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You either play bare bones in competitive play or you play everything in casual play. What if I just want to be able to use the custom moves in not use the augments because I don't want to use the augments. I just want to be like if I just want to use the custom moves because I think they're cool in a casual perspective, then I can't do that. It's all or nothing. It's pretty much bare bones or just everything flies.
Yeah, and like, who would really want to use the augments? Like, I don't see what it applies to anything in the game. Like, a little stat boost. It's like I don't. Maybe some people like that, but I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't gain anything from that. It's like it's playing with like a buff. It's like it's not real. It's
And
not.
there's nothing wrong with playing with those things, but it's not something that we're going to be interested. A lot of us are going to be interested in because it's just too far gone. It's like the Injustice 2. Custom moves were one thing, custom abilities or whatever were one thing, but then when you add the stats and stuff, then it's just it's no, that becomes a who's put more time into this game to get better augments and done more to get more rare and legendary augments that give them these nice damage boosts or damage reducers, whatever. And it's like,
Yeah, that's more like a mobile game grind. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
And that's the thing is I attribute it to like fluff. It's just quantity over quality at that point, and it's not that's not fun. I don't want to do that stuff. I just want to play a game in a very like in a mostly balanced setting. And like I said, now neither of those options are now available to me unless we do like custom matches between each other, private matches where we specifically say, okay, no augments. Like that's fine, whatever. We can still do that in our private setting. But if I wanted
so
to
it's not.
jump into matchmaking, it's either all or nothing. All there's no happy middle ground. Once again,
Yeah, it's like and even if you go to play the custom without the augments, it's like okay, you can get used to a version that's not there. It's like you can't play that competitively. So if you really do want to play this game competitively, it's like you kind of have to get used to one of those variations now. It's not like it'll just fuck you in the long run if you play like without the custom or with the custom shit.
yeah.
Now it's like it's for tournament players. I doubt they're gonna mess with it now. I'm personally not gonna mess with it. Like I'm not gonna use something that's not like tournament legal because it's like not real to me. It's like why am I even playing? It's like I'm playing with something that shouldn't even be like actually like exists, I guess, because these presets ones are what's norm. It's like you can't. I don't know. I hate it.
Like I said,
I
and I would be less. I think the augments thing is the thing that sets it over the edge for me
yeah
because even if you're a casual player like Razor, for example, I don't think he's happy with that. Like,
no
I doubt he wants augments and stuff like that because he didn't want stats and stuff like that in Injustice 2. He was cool with he was all in on the ability, like the abilities you can get, the extra moves and stuff. But when you get stats involved, that takes a lot of it out of it, and I feel like everybody's unhappy now. Like from
yeah.
a
It's
competitive
who would be
side, you
happy
don't
from
get the
this?
custom moves, and from a casual side, you have to deal with augments. So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
It's very confusing to me. I was really hyped, for KotalCon because you had the War God stuff and the Sun God stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I can play War God with Sun God, but can I do that now? Am I stuck with some shitty move I don't want? Like, am I stuck with the totem buff if I get the command grab, or I don't know. Like, this is just it really like threw a fucking wrench into everything. It's like I don't know even what to expect with the preset variations now. This
Yeah.
wouldn't have been a problem if maybe they had them in the beta. Maybe show us and tell us what's going on. Maybe put that fucking dash buff in the beta too, so we know what to expect for this game like day one. Like MKX didn't have this issue. MKX had the variations revealed from the very beginning. We knew the whole cycle what was going to go on with that game, and now we have no idea what's going on with this game, and it's like 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
I'm dumbfounded that they did this way, and it wouldn't have even been as bad if they explained this through a combat cast and like go through why they did this. Really let us know what they're thinking for this. But no, they give it to Game Informer with like a small article, as if it's not even like that big of a deal. Like they'll get over it. It's so confusing to me, and I haven't seen a single person happy about this. Twitter has been blowing it up. Test Your Might was blowing it up. Everyone playing even in tournament wanted custom variations. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
just
Very
going off of
disappointing.
Mustard put up a poll on Twitter saying, those of you that have played MK11, how did you choose to play your characters variation wise? Highly interested in the results on this poll. So the 4 options were custom only, pre-made only, custom first, then pre-made, or pre-made first, then custom, in terms of how people went about the variations when they played. So
And
in the poll right now, the lowest percentage, and this has about 3,500 votes so far, and
wow.
the lowest percentage right now of votes is 10% chose custom first, then pre-made. So that's 10% of the people wanted to do their own custom thing first, and then they decided, you know what, I'll just use the pre-made ones for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Maybe they just got tired of making them. They reset their
Yeah,
game. Who knows?
I don't blame them.
Or maybe they just liked the pre-made ones and they were fine with them. The next up is 15%, and that was pre-made only. And then from there, 26% said pre-made first, then custom. So those are people that tried the pre-made ones and then realized there was nothing there for them and they wanted to try the custom stuff. And then the leading one, no surprise, at 49% custom only, which
That's
is what
what I
I
voted
was.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was custom only because that's the whole thing, is I wanted to make my own thing. I didn't want the pre-made things. And I looked through the pre-made options and I didn't want those. I think the only one I could have got away with is Cabal's with the air dash plus the gas that he spews out or whatever. Like that
Yeah.
one, I ended up playing that quite a bit, but that's
I didn't even bother looking at them because
yeah, but
and yeah.
it's just
But now I don't even know what to expect for Cabal because I used a custom variation for Cabal that may not even exist in the final game. So now I played a false version of my character for like 200 matches. So that's cool.
yeah, probably because I don't know, man. It's just it sucks. It really sucks because they've marketed it this way since the game was first announced back in December. In the description for the YouTube video and in the press releases, it was all about custom variations. That's what they built this game
Yeah.
on, was being able to have endless variety of characters. You can just all these, hundreds of different combinations or whatever crazy thing that they marked it as. So but now that's not on the table for anybody that wants to play this competitively. Playing competitively is not playing in casual setting, or not in casual setting, the casual matches. That is not a competitive setting. Like I said, I do not distinguish this as FGC versus everybody else. This is anybody that wants to take this game seriously whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
be it on
I don't even
ranked
know how to
online
argue.
or at a tourney scene, does not
Yeah.
matter. If you are one of those players that wants to treat this game in a serious setting, you cannot use you can, but then you're essentially having to learn both. You're going to have to split your time on what you're using. And do you even want to play the casual online matches when you are forced to deal with augmentations on top of it?
Yeah, this does nothing for anyone. Like I think that argument was something separate. I don't think that should have been even. I saw people arguing about that in the chat. I'm like, I don't even think that's relevant right now. Like, I don't think anyone wins with this, like
Yeah.
competitive or casual.
No,
It
not at
doesn't.
all.
It's not one or the other. It's like everyone loses.
Because here's what's going to happen. Let's say you're a casually competitive player. I mean, that's pretty much what I am. I'm competitive, but I don't go to tournaments.
Yeah, I
I
consider
just
myself that as well.
Yeah, we're competitive people, but we don't go the extra step. We're just casually competitive. So take me, I'm gonna play this game, or take Joe Schmo that picks it up for a rental or whatever. Either way, you're gonna pick it up, you're gonna try the custom things, and then what happens when you go on to ranked for the very first time After you've played story mode, you built your custom variations, you played with some friends maybe online, you go into ranked mode, and then guess what? None of that matters anymore. You're forced to choose between the preset ones, and you realize, because maybe you don't follow this online, you're gonna realize, hey, you have to choose now. Like, you have to choose between the pre-made ones. You can no longer have fun party mode. You are choosing between what was set there for you, just like in MKX. Like, that affects everybody. Everybody. The only people it does not affect are the people that never had any intention whatsoever to step into a ranked online match. But then you now have to accept the fact that if you go into casual matches, if that's your thing, you're gonna have to deal with augmentations. Or if you play with friends online, you're gonna have to mutually agree not to use augments. So
Yeah, did Injustice 2 ever have a mode where it was like it was casual without the stats but with the abilities? I
nope,
can't. Nope, it
never.
didn't.
It
Okay,
was
well,
always one package.
I was gonna suggest maybe that would be a separate mode, but no,
That
that I
should
don't.
be, and I would be
Yeah,
completely okay with that if they put in a matchmaking at least where it's like treated like ranked, but you can use the abilities or the custom variations, but with no augments. Okay, I'd probably play that more than anything else because maybe the tournament scene would adopt that. Like, if they did something like that, if you meet us halfway, there's nothing saying that the tournament scene has to use the ranked
what's in
settings.
ranked? Yeah,
They do not have to, and they know they don't have to. But it's going to come down to, is there an easy way to set your custom moves? If everybody has to go in and create a variation from the main menu, there's no way tournament scenes are going to adopt
no,
that. But
and it just yeah,
if you give it to us from the select screen to be able to set your moves there, then I think the tournament scene will be able to do whatever the hell they want. And you separate augmentations, and you can just turn that shit off. Then the tournament scene can make that choice themselves. But NRS at least has to allow for that. They at least have to meet people halfway. And I don't think they will because just like in
no,
Injustice 2, it was all or nothing. You either used the the gear stats and special abilities and all that stuff together, or you didn't use any of it.
yep,
So that sucks. That's the real loss here, in my opinion, is that it's once again it feels like all or nothing when there's no happy medium, there's no middle ground, which is unfortunate.
yeah. To announce this, especially this close to launch, it's like it's a really big bummer when everyone is hyped for this shit, and it's so close, and then we get this thing, and it's like, wow, well, this fucking blows. Like, I mean, at least it's only 3 weeks away. We can see how it feels and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
still like I would be. I hope people, the outcry gets to them, and they maybe will try and change it. Maybe not at launch, but maybe if people try the variations and they're like, this is not as good as the beta. Like, where are the custom variations? Maybe they'll change their outlook and really try and alter that. But even that, it's like to make such a big change, a month after a game or whatever. It's like some people will get used to the variation system, and some people will have outcry against that as well. So it's like I if they don't change it before launch, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen to me
Anything's
because
possible. I mean,
yeah,
they did redo their entire netcode for the game, so I mean,
that's true.
anything is possible if there is a big enough desire for it that's vocally stated and all that. But yeah, it's not looking good. And I'm sure we're still going to have fun with the game, just so everybody's
Oh,
clear.
absolutely, yeah.
We're going to still have fun. There's still going to be something for all of us there. It's just unfortunate. It's a bummer. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's harder. It's going to be hard. Like, I feel like there's, with the custom variation system, you could probably make any character work for you for the most part. Maybe not everyone, but for the most part, you would be able to find a way to make a character yours. And I feel like with or preset variations, that's not always going to be possible now. You're going to look at the three options you have available or whatever, and you're going to be like, oh, none of this is really that fun to me. But if this move was with this move, then I'd be having a blast. But unfortunately, they're separated. Like,
That's like,
that's,
yeah,
yeah.
that'll even make it's gonna be so hard, with custom variations being, in the game. It's like, and you see the presets, and maybe you'll try them and be like, this is kind of shit. and then you go mess around with custom variations, and you're like, wow, this version of the character is so dope. Like, I really wish I could play this instead. Like,
Well, I
it's
already
just gonna
know.
suck. Yeah,
Ultimately, when I do find a main or a character I get really excited by, that's and I we haven't even really talked about this. I would imagine this is still we can still choose our own skins and all the other stuff like that
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
because
I
it would
mean,
be insane to give us
yeah,
set in stone skins and looks to go along with these custom or the preset variations.
yeah.
That
And
to
Justice
me,
2 ranked was good about that. I
that to
don't.
me would just be nuts.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a thing. I think they like the customization, especially like people they'll know people want to use different skins and shit. If
Yeah.
that wasn't in, they'll get fucking tore to shreds for that. But yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, so they must have a system in place where like if you go into ranked and you choose one of these custom things or the preset things, it saves the way you have it looking, but like it's locked in place, but the augmentations and stuff are turned off. I don't know. That's just really strange to me.
Yeah, you'll probably just be able to alter the skin and the gear, and then everything else, like the moves and shit, won't change.
So
It'll
then to
just be
create
the
your
skin.
custom ones, you'd have to create them separately from the preset ones.
Yeah, most likely, I would assume.
Hmm.
And then, like, are you even gonna be able to change the name now, like in non-customs? So that would kind of suck.
Yeah. All the fun
'Cause
of creating your own name for it now is
people are gonna need to know what have to fight. So
yeah,
gotta
that's
have those
true.
preset names.
It's true. Yep. It's a
I wish I
shame.
didn't play the beta now. Like it's such a like I feel like I didn't play a real version of the game.
Yeah, now you know what you're missing now, especially.
Yeah, it's like if I get this game, it's like it's gonna make it more disappointing at launch. When we get the game and it's like this isn't as fun as the beta or whatever. Which I did enjoy the beta a lot, but I was still looking forward to the game. But now it's like I don't know what to expect with the preset variations, especially we're probably gonna get a new combat cast like tomorrow or the next
It's
day.
Thursday.
Like okay, it's on Thursday, but even then, it's like they're still gonna be like, oh, if you put this move in this custom move or this custom variation, it's a really good loadout. It's like, well, who gives a shit now? We don't know what we're getting with these characters,
Yeah.
and people, they acted like we were crazy for talking about this. And on Rio's podcast too, they mentioned, concern about the variations like a month ago, and they were getting a lot of flack for that too. Like, oh, they're fixing it. They're fucking got something in mind. Like, it's not something to be worried about. But now it's like there is something to be worried about. It's like they were totally right for, they're right to have concern about this. Like, I don't know. I had concern about it because when I saw custom variations and the balancing would be really difficult and like how do you know what you're gonna fight each game? Like there is the loading screen that could have worked, and how do you pick your moves in between matches and shit. I feel like maybe they did try to do it, and it was just maybe they weren't able to do it in time, or I don't know what happened. Like I'd really like to know what happened. Maybe they'll explain it on the Combat Cast due to the backlash, but I'm hoping they talk about it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But all right, I think that covers everything. It's there's still so much to love about this game. Visuals, story mode looks like a lot of fun. Characters, there's a lot of cool characters in here, and just the gameplay in general is pretty awesome.
oh
So
yeah,
it's not like this kills the game. It's just it's disappointing for sure, and yeah, it kind of dampens it a little bit. You know, we'll see in time. Maybe Down 4 is still going to have a cabal that he like a preset variation that he really loves, and
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping everybody finds a preset variation that they love. But yeah, it lessens that possibility that a character can be for you, that any character can be for you. So hopefully we find it, and still there's a lot of fun to be had and exciting times, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure in the next week or so we'll get more hype once they reveal someone and like some. I'm sure there'll be more news too. Like Game Informer said, there'll be coverage like all month or something about MK11. So there'll probably be like new shit every week or something. And
Yes.
they're already ramping up. So I mean, there is shit to be excited about, and the game is so close. That's awesome, but it's just like for now, it's like this is the biggest thing. I think so far, like this is the biggest disappointment for me with this game. Like just
Sure.
overall, just like other than the Cabal design, that really fucking sucks. I'm still really upset about that, but I'll go into that another time. But this is definitely like I think it's because we're so close. It's like if this had happened like I was saying like a few months ago, wouldn't have been as bad. But now uh it sucks. But I'm sure everyone will get over it. Or
It's a
you know,
lot like running a race, and at the end of the race, at the very, very end, you get passed up by somebody else.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, we got second place. We get a silver medal. That's still awesome. It's still great. It's still going to be a wonderful game, but we were that close to just
yeah.
having first place.
Like
Amazing.
what if? What if you had first place? It's like
Yeah, and it's like if we just didn't fumble there towards the end, if we just tried a little harder, it could have been there, but yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, I'm like I said, there's still plenty to love, but yeah, it is a bummer there in a couple ways, and yeah. So
yeah. I don't want to like end on a sour note, but it's just yeah. I'm sure a lot of people feel this way, and so, maybe some people are happy about the presets. I don't know who you are, but
I don't
I
know
hope you
who
are.
you are, what's wrong with you, but I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, on that note, I mean, we can't win them all, and this is definitely one where we had more things that weren't very excited about or happy about, but that's okay. And we'll get you next time, and I'm sure we'll have another random select after the combat cast later this week, so on Thursday. So we'll probably do a random select later this week, and it'll probably be way more positive because I believe we get the Noob Saibot breakdown and maybe one or two other characters. It would not surprise me if Cetrion's one of those characters and something else. But yeah, hopefully with
Devora
the
probably.
breakdowns more than anything, they just start showing us off the actual pre-made variations because it's hard to get excited. It's like it's the custom moves from Injustice 2 all over again, where it's like you're gonna show us all these moves we can't even really have. So
Yeah,
I
that's also yeah.
at least in this
Yeah,
case, hopefully they build them all into variations somewhere, and some characters do need 5 variations if they need that many to get them all out. Honestly, if anything, I wish they would just rebalance it all to where they get rid of the custom move slots to where one move or this move takes up 1 slot, this move takes up 3 slots. Like if you're gonna do this preset variations, I think you need to scrap it and just say, all right, this is you can play Scorpion with Misery Blade, or you can play Scorpion with these 5 things, like the chain
yeah.
spins and the flame stuff, like because some of those are gonna have to be able to compete with each other, and to do that, you really need to revamp those slot things because even Misery Blade right now is a clear favorite, and I know Baraka has some clear favorites, and it's like you're really gonna have to stack some of these variations, and I don't know if you can do that. So that may be the advantage of these pre-made variations because maybe they break their own rules with the pre-made variations to
They
where
get super buff.
they
Yeah,
don't abide by the slot system and they just make flat out like okay this is yeah some variations are going to have to be stacked to compete with the ones with the moves that are clearly the go-to's. So
that'd be kind of dope. Yeah, like maybe that would make the chain shit way better when you couple it with like flame breath,
yeah,
something like a super buff version of Scorpion.
exactly. So if they do that, then hey, then maybe there's a more positive note laying under here that we're not aware of at the end of the day. But
Yeah, we don't know exactly how they'll work yet. We just know each character will have two minimum, and then possibly more for other characters. Like
yeah,
there could be something like that we're missing that makes this better. I'm hoping.
yeah, we're just going off the as with all of these episodes that we put out, we're just going off the information that we know now. So it's not like we're writing off everything. Like, oh nope, nothing's gonna make me love this. I'll never change my mind about this. Like, no, that's not our opinion. That's not our attitude. We're always going to go in with an open mind, and we're always going to go in with if they come through and they end up putting forth something that's really enjoyable. It's not like we're going to be like, well, we already decided we don't like this.
Yeah, we'll
So
probably do another episode like praising it if
exactly.
that's the case. Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah, as of now, from what we know now, it is disappointing. But hey, like I said, another random select. I'm sure later this week where we're gonna have a lot of more positive things to talk about and some hype moments. So on that note, see you guys later, and thanks for listening.
Yeah. Take care. Peace.